Hey guys, this is Zoe, and this is my book report for the advanced photo class at ASU. So the book I chose was The Heavens. It's by the photographer Barbara Bosworth, and this is the book here. It's actually huge. Comparison, here's my hand. So it's a rather large book, and it's quite thick too, so I might have to skip over some pages to get through this whole thing within 4 minutes. But anyway, when you open it, there's this nice graphic here of constellations, and it comes with a cover, title page, and it just opens straight away to the photos. A little bit about the artist while I'm flipping through some of the initial photographs here. Barbara grew up in Cleveland, and she's always been into photography that has to do with nature interaction and human interaction. She originally got a BFA in photography, and then later on got an MFA and started teaching as a professor of photography at the Mass College of Art and Design. So that's pretty cool that basically her whole career has been involved in photography. So going back to the original idea of her having this interconnection between nature and human activity, this wasn't something I initially realized when viewing the book, but after reading a bit more about how that's kind of the topic that she puts throughout her work, this very much became about how humans have affected how we basically see space because of light pollution. And she says this in a blurb later on in the back of the book. She spends a lot of her time developing these pictures, and a great deal of it has to do with capturing the right exposures, and she's doing it all on that old camera. As far as the book itself, like I mentioned earlier, it's quite large, which I think is good for her subject matter, because you were talking about the vastness of space, basically, and it wouldn't really make sense for these images that are taken of the moon, the stars, etc., to be in a small, confined sort of area. It makes sense that they have all of this room to breathe. She also puts these like really cool tissue dividers for different sections in the book. So this is a different type of paper she uses. And in these are like matte paper. It's a lot more thin. And on the back of these, she has the constellations or the clusters or the planet labeled. The actual paper is pretty thick, and it is slightly glossy. And as we get closer to the back here, it goes a little bit more into history of just like astronomy and space photography in general. I think it was interesting how she sequenced this work. There's a lot of these larger images of zoomed out space, and then later in the back she goes into the categories of sunspots and the moon. So she starts kind of big and then focuses more pinpointedly, and then provides research in the back, which is kind of interesting. Overall, I actually really enjoyed my experience with this book, even though it's kind of bulky. Yeah, I enjoyed this book. It was an interesting experience having the photo book here. Definitely helped me format mine a bit. So yeah, thanks guys.